Good evening, Steel City. Welcome to the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tonight, our 72nd edition, live from the original podcast room of the Black and Gold Paraphernalia. I'm sad to say will be the last show live from the original podcast room of the Yinzer Report. On this evening's show, my thoughts on this great podcast, my new directive at IE Sports Radio. A lot of people to thank. My favorite moments, my fan base, my true supporters, week in, week out, a special guest, and a good old farewell speech as we close this chapter of the Yinzer Report. So please, stay tuned for this very special edition with me, your host, Ralph Calise. And this will be the last time I say this. I will start today's show off with our tremendous sponsors. IE Sports Radio's new sponsor, Vital, along with the amazing Planet Jerky, premium beef jerky, the jerky that's on another planet. And Seal the Deal COX stamps. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. Plus IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And why the Yinzer Report was on the air. Well, Steel City, please come join me on my final episode of the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed that will always be for your sport.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clinking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Well, good evening, everybody. This is Ralph Calise, your host of the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And as you heard there in the beginning of the show, this will be the final episode of the Yinzer Report with your host, Ralph Calise. As many of you know, well, let me just go back. Those were our sponsors. Those are the last time I'll be playing those sponsors for a show. And as always on the Yinzer Report, please do not discount them. That is Planet Jerky, Premium Beef Jerky, the best jerky on the planet. Seal the Deal Wax Seals. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. Vital sports apparel for your sports apparel needs for your workouts. Get into that for a very good cause. And of course, the reason why we've been on the air for 72 episodes, IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Like I said, like I was going to start the show, Last week, I finished up the show, and I did know that something was coming down the pipes as far as the show to be over, and I did mention it. But if you saw the end of the show last week, I kind of lost it at the end. And there were a couple of my loyal supporters who were watching towards the end that actually saw the breakdown as I was flubbing around with the buttons as I was just doing now, because I was nervous. But anyway, the show is coming to an end. There is a new directive now that IE Sports Radio is going to go, and I am also a part of that. So I'm not leaving the podcast situation. I'm just leaving this show. The show will no longer be on air because all the regional shows actually are being dismissed because of the new directive. Earlier today, Ricky K of New York City Sports, who I will be having as a guest, I believe, and shortly will be coming on. He had his show, and his directive was to continue his show on, giving you all the New York state of sports, all New York sports. But I'm going to do mine a little different. I'm going to gear this towards the end, the finale, because there really isn't much going on in Pittsburgh sports. Just a quick update. The Steelers finished their first week of OTAs. Mason Rudolph is the quarterback one. As we speak, who knows what's going on with Aaron Rodgers? I think he's playing the Steelers. And there was a couple other noticeable guys missing. That was TJ Watt and DK Metcalf, but it's nothing to do with not playing or anything. It's voluntary. They don't have to be there. The Pittsburgh Pirates, of course, are chugging along with their new manager. He already has 9 wins. I think he's got 75% of what Derek Shelton had in the amount of games that he managed. So, but they're still in last place. And the Pittsburgh Penguins are also looking for a new coach. Last I saw, they were close to maybe hiring Mitch Love, as we spoke about on a prior show. So that's basically what's going on with the sports. And I just wanted to get the show out there to you guys and explain to you what's going on. So my new narrative here now will be on X to get in touch with me at IESR, as you can see in the yellow bubble below, which again will be the last time I post these. _ Pittsburgh. Also, there is at Calise R on X. You can get in touch with me there, and that is part of the new directive for what I'll be going to. Sorry. You can also subscribe to IE Sports Radio on YouTube, and you will be able to follow all the shows that will be coming up in the new directive. And I have the shows listed here. You could shows to look for me on if I'm invited, which I already was this past Wednesday. The opening series, which is on a Monday. The Defining Moment, which was on Wednesday, which the show I was on with Larry B. and Terran Rodriguez for my first actual report as the Pittsburgh Insider. Like I said, my new directive here at IE Sports Radio. And the primetime preview that Ricky K, as I mentioned at the beginning, he just finished his first one just before me. And he is going to be my guest tonight. And me and Ricky, I have a story actually to share with Ricky that me and him became really close, and it's kind of what I'm doing here with my show. And there are other shows that will pop up where I could possibly be on, but the new directive now is that IE Sports Radio has, like I said, taken away all the regional shows, and the Yinzer Report was one, and as I mentioned, Ricky K's show, as well as all the other shows on IE Sports Radio have been taken away. There still are some, like the volleyball show, and there is a soccer show, Shin Pads and Shenanigans with Jess, You still have the neutral zone with Adam and Zach. You'll still have the bullpen bulletin with Ricky, Al Alden, and Mike Pat. And I think I'm missing another one, but they're all out there. So, like I said, just subscribe to YouTube on IE Sports Radio or go to iesportsradio.com. They'll all be listed there. And like I just mentioned, my new podcast gig will be the Pittsburgh Insider on IE Sports Radio. So basically, I will be invited onto these shows and basically just talk about Pittsburgh stuff. But if you did watch the show Wednesday with Larry B, he did let out a secret that if you guys already didn't know, that I am a big Mets fan. So that's what I'm going to get into with Ricky once I get him on. But yeah, so he let that out Wednesday. I am a big Mets fan, but I'm covering the Pirates for the Pittsburgh show and the Pittsburgh Insider. But I am a big Mets fan in heart. So this is the final episode 72. And I just first want to start off by thanking all of IE Sports Radio, all the personnel, all the management, Larry B especially. He's the creator. Angela, the GM, your other higher-ups there, Jen B, Ricky K, as I mentioned, Taryn Rodriguez also, who is he'll be mentioned later on as I get into the supporters and everything of the show. I'd like to thank all of them and all the shows that were also part of IE Sports Radio, the regional shows, all those shows of all those people who played my drop and commented on my shows and have not with all that. That's a lot of people. There's a lot of people there to thank. And once again, I thank Larry B for letting me come on and have this final show because like I mentioned, it was in the making last week, but it wasn't totally for sure. And if you didn't see the end of the show of last week, go back to episode 71. I lost it at the end. I was full bore in tears because you guys know how I love this show and what I put into it and all that is forthcoming. So, all right, let's gonna bring Ricky on in a second. I see you there, Ricky. Hold on. Let me just go through the comments because I know a lot of people were asking me what time the show was going to be on tonight, and these are loyal people that are out there. So I want to give them their due because they really made my show. And the first one up was Brian. He is our Boston insider. He said, "Let's go, Ralph," and he became a very, very big part of the show in the couple of months that he's been with IE Sports Radio. And there is Raymond Mann. Have a great show, buddy. Yes, and I'm going to tell a story with you about you, Ray, and me coming up as you are a great supporter of my show. And there he is, Taryn Rodriguez. Good evening, Ralph. Have an awesome final Yinzer report. Let's go. Thank you, Taryn. Thank you for everything you have done to help me along with the Yinzer report. And I do mean that. And I mean that everything because Taryn, you are a role model. You are a mainstay at IE Sports Radio. And Taryn just had his 300th volleyball show. Set point on IE Sports Radio. Great accomplishment. 300 shows. Next up, my screen blacked out here for a second. Hold on a second, guys. Next up is the guest I'm going to be having on shortly, and it is Ricky Keeler, Ricky K. Have a great show. Congrats on a great run, the great memorabilia, the great laughs, and much more you gave to the Pittsburgh faithful. I couldn't say better than myself. That is just an awesome comment. Ricky is coming up. We're going to share a story. And there is my son, Anthony Calise. Let's go. You guys are getting me choked up now. Next up, my son again. Yinzer report will be missed. Love you, Pops. Love you too, kid. And you're going to be part of the great moments when I get to that part. If I get to that part at the rate we're going right now, having you on the show, you know what that meant to me, and that was big. Raymond Mann, last show. Yes, sir. It is the last show, and well, hopefully we can get through with it. Danny Mann, my nephew, Yinzer Report, the best show on air, will be missed greatly. Thank you, Danny, and thank you for all you did for the Yinzer Report. You had a big part in it, too. And there is Melissa Harding. Oh, my God. My son's fiance, future wife-to-be. Have a great last show. Yinzer will be missed. Thank you, Melissa, and thank you for tuning in. And there is Patty Mann. That is Ray's wife and Danny's mom. Go Yinzer. And I think we got the complete Mann family chiming in here. Yinzers will be missed. Best of luck, Ralph. I'll be following on your next shows to come. And that was from Joseph Mann. And, and my nephew, Danny Mann, LFGM. He knows the deal. He knows I am a big Met fan as well as him. And he's a big Knick fan, too. And Brian Franchone, thanks, pal. Yinzer for life. Yes, sir. All right, so those are the comments, and those are my people. Those are my supporters. Those are my family, my friends, and whoever else is in there. All right, so I'm going to bring in a special guest. Here he is. This is Ricky K. There he goes. What's up, Rick? How are you? Great first primetime show there before I came on. I was catching bits and pieces of it while I was setting up here. But, yes, thanks for coming on. And, hey, just you had your show this afternoon. I know you went a different route. You went into all the New York sports, but that's just how you are. Because you, sir, and my friend, you are really good at what you do here on IE Sports Radio, and you deserve it. So I'll give you the floor. Go ahead. This is Ricky K. He was the host of New York State of Sports. And I'm going to tell a story about me and Ricky after he goes and says what he has to say. Go ahead, buddy.
First off, thank you for having me on, Ralph. It's a pleasure to be on. Happy to be here. Look, again, it's like you said, our shows took different approaches today, but still, I echoed it what I said at the end of my show today, almost 95 episodes in. We're doing this over a year and a half. The New York faithful have always been great, you included.
Yep.
It's a different challenge to take on a regional show. I never done one before. So to be able to do that and have the success with it, it took ways I didn't think it would take. Right. So hopefully bringing that same flair to primetime, which at least was fortunate, the Knicks and Yankees are leading the nation with stuff this weekend. So it's still with a similar show this afternoon.
Yeah, well, there ain't much out there in Pittsburgh to report anyway. So the show actually came at a perfect time.
Right. But at the same time, look, what I meant by the comment I said, you've done a really good job with this show. Even bringing in Penn State and West Virginia and doing the information and doing the research on things that made something you may not have been known for a while. You did the research, backed it up, and talked about those things to make the show what it is. Your memorabilia segments were great, sharing all those stories.
Thank you.
Finding out when I joined and you joined that we're both from the same borough and lived minutes away from each other. Like, to me, IE Sports Radio is a family, and you are still part of this family. You're always welcome on my shows. But 70 plus episodes on anything from this podcast industry is a big deal. And from what I can tell in the chat, you have a really good family. So it's a sad day, but at the same time, it is a happy day, and that you can reflect on all that you've accomplished. And as a friend and as a colleague, I am very proud of all the work that you've done.
Very well put, my friend. And I appreciate all your comments. And just to share a story, like I said, as I got your comment up there, I'll take it down. Thank you very much for that comment. I'm going to try to screenshot that before I go off the air and save that one. But anyway, just to go on about with Ricky. Now, as I said, it was let out on the defining moment with Larry B. Wednesday that I was a big Mets fan. So me and Ricky actually took in game 5, right? Game 5 of the National League Championship Series last year was the Mets versus the Dodgers. And Ricky had gotten the tickets, and we met up at Citi Field. Now, like Ricky said, when we first started, we were actually neighbors. We were both lived in Staten Island. I think we lived like 10 minutes from each other. And Ricky then went on to move out to Jersey. And so he met me. He met me at Citi Field. He had the tickets, and we took in the game. And I tell you, Ricky, you're a real good. You were a real good friend. You actually showed up. Because there's like, it was like a guy date. Let's just put it that way. That's the way I felt. I'm standing there thinking, is this guy really going to show up? I mean, I don't know this guy. But just from being on the air and talking with you and that and everything, and then going to the game and experiencing the game. Let me tell you something about Ricky K. I've never seen, and this was a playoff game. It was a game 5. The Mets were on the brink of getting eliminated. I never saw somebody like Ricky K at this game. He scored the whole game in a scorecard. He had the whole game scored. He had every play scored in a scorecard. If you know how to score a game in a scorecard, you know what I'm saying. But and I tell you, Ricky, I felt the closest with you because after every home run the Mets hit, man, we were hugging like we were brothers, and that touched my heart right there. That touched my heart right there, and it was just a great time. And I wound up driving Ricky home to his new home in Jersey after the game, and we just had great conversations in the car in between listening to the Yankee game because, of course, Ricky is also a big Yankee fan because he's New York sports. And it was just a great time, and I appreciate all you've done for me, and you've become a very good friend. And just like you said, IE Sports Radio is like a family. And this radio station brought me and you together where, to me, I feel like you're a brother to me. Even though it's only a short time, and that's the story I had to tell about you. And thanks for coming on.
Well, it's like you said, that was a fun moment. I've been in a few playoff games I hadn't really been to when I was given the opportunity to buy these tickets. There were only a couple people I thought of taking, and one of them was you, just to get to actually know you outside of the screen.
Yes.
And for it to be that kind of a game, it was like we talked about after the game. It was like a what do you call this? It's not a funeral. The wake before the funeral, because you're all, it's about to end, but you're going to celebrate at the same time because everybody knew the Mets weren't going to go to Dodger Stadium and win both games in 6 and 7. But to have that moment, luckily it wasn't Pete Alonso's last home run at Citi Field because he's a Met still, which is great. But to have that time and to heckle people and high five people in the stands, and all the Lindor stuff was great. And I've been to playoff games before, but not in an atmosphere like that. And for that to happen, look, there's going to be great times for the Mets ahead. Like I said earlier today, they're a good team.
No, it was
back. Soto's going to find it as much as people want to heckle the heck out of them. I mean, I was looking forward to week 1 this year when Aaron Rodgers eventually signs with Pittsburgh, as much as Terry Bradshaw has some kind words to say about Aaron Rodgers this week.
Who knows at this point?
Something, but it would have been the Aaron Rodgers Justin Fields reunion, which would have been so much.
I mean, I still think it's going to happen, but he's playing them right now, and if Mike Tomlin is in on this with him, Mike Tomlin, I've lost a lot of respect for Mike Tomlin because you know how the Steelers are as a franchise. You're a football fan too, and this is stuff that they've never would go through. I wish I could have had my son on, but he's not on. But the poor father and the uncle are rolling over in their graves. I'm talking about the Rooneys. Hold on, I got a couple more comments here. Brian says, "I'm proud of you both, always supporting my show too." Yes, sir, Brian. You are a big part of IE Sports Radio, and you've just started. Martin Sandoval. Okay, so now anybody out there that don't know Martin Sandoval, he was the host of our wrestling show who had his final show a couple of weeks ago. And I happened to actually be on the show as not a guest, but commenting like this. And he says, shout out to my good brother, Ralph, 4 letters, 1 word, yeet. And Martin, I'll give you a yeet. And for all wrestling fans out there, that is Jey Uso's claim to fame. His 4-letter word is yeet. And Aaron Yowell, wow, he did our Denver show
Mhm.
Aaron did the Denver show. It's Ralph and Ricky. Hey, Aaron, what is going on? Hope all is well with you, sir. Yes,
likewise.
you are missed, sir. You are very well missed. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for joining in. And Brian comes back and says, "You can't see that." He's talking about John Cena. I love Brian. He's a character. He's a character. Yeah, so that's basically it, man. I'm just gonna get into a couple of great moments that I had. I mean, if you want to stick around, you can stick around. And thanks again for joining in, and thank you. Looking forward to being on your show and all the others. I was ready on Larry's defining moments, so that was pretty cool. And I'll just do my diligence. I'll throw my shorts out there whenever something happens with Pittsburgh. That's the other thing that we're doing. We're throwing like 2-minute shorts out on social media there for our insider job of each city. And this is the new directive for IE Sports Radio. I have a feeling it's going to be very good. It's going to work out well. So
I'm going to head out. I will continue to stay tuned because this is your floor. I don't want to take anything away from your floor. But
hey,
congratulations. You always have a place on my show whenever you want it. And just enjoy all the love you're getting. This is fantastic. And I just hope that
I appreciate your time, sir. Thank you for coming on, and we will definitely get together, hopefully soon. And yes, we'll continue the brotherhood.
That's right.
Thank you, Ricky. Thanks to Ricky Keeler for being our guest. He is a big part of IE Sports Radio out here. And all right, so let's continue on as we did that part. By the way, thank you for everybody who has commented and joined into the final episode of the Yinzer Report. We're not going to do any commercials. We're just going to go through. I'm going to give you a couple of my favorite moments that happened on the show. And man, I wish I don't know if he's out there listening, but I wish he was. I wanted to bring this up. Hold on, we got a comment. Comment says, Raymond Mann, Ray, I got a story coming up with me and you. You're a big part here. Some of my favorite shows is when you and Anthony were on together. Yes. What as Ray is referring to is my son, Anthony Calise. He actually was on 3 shows. So let's get into it while Ray brought that up. Thanks for bringing that up, Ray. I did 3 shows with my son, Anthony. And, of course, we talk mostly about the Steelers because my son is, he lives here in New York with me, of course, and he's a Pittsburgh Steeler fan, big-time Steeler fan, and he basically followed in the footsteps of his father of rooting for teams. He's also a Met fan, and we also root for the same hockey team, but that's nothing to get into at this time anyway. But anyway, great moments I have up there, great moments, good times. They will all be missed. And, of course, yes, Ray just mentioned it. I did 3 shows with my son, and this was back when we were on Spreaker. I did 1, and I did 1 with him on Spreaker, and I did 2 with him live on StreamYard. And man, I don't know if this is the case, but I believe I was one of the first ever to have a father-son show on IE Sports Radio. I don't know if that is true or not, but I thought it was at the time. And it meant a lot to me to have my son on because my son knows his stuff. He knows his stuff when it comes to sports. There was even people out there that were saying that he should have really aimed his career towards like a sportscasting station, on a TV or something. But he knows his stuff, and when it came to the Steelers, he knew a lot, and I respected his thoughts. But the one moment I want to share that I had the best one with my son was the last time we were on. It was when I had the rant on the Steelers about Mike Tomlin. And it was I've never mentioned it on the show that Mike Tomlin's got to go. He stinks. He needs to be fired. And this was the first show I did it, and I started the show off with a rant, and the rant was so bad. According to some people, it was so good because I needed to get it out of me. My poor son, after the show, said to me, "You shocked the crap out of me because I didn't expect that," and I kind of like stumbled to say, "When you go ahead, Ed, it's all yours. Talk about what you want to talk about." And when that happened, when he said that to me, I knew he was. I knew he was touched about that. And it was, oh man, it was not. It was just a crazy show. I don't remember the episode. It wasn't too long ago. Maybe if you go back into the archives and you look up maybe like show 60 to like 65, it was towards the end of football season. So got another comment coming in. Much love to you, bro. Yes, Martine. Good luck to you, sir. Good luck to you and your new endeavors, man. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. That was a good time. Another good time was when I first started on StreamYard, and Larry B. I don't know if Larry B. is out there. I wish he was out there. I wish he could have came on tonight because he's the man I would love to thank personally on air and have my moment with him. But I guess I'll do it on maybe his show when he has me on again. We did a show, and it was StreamYard. It was one of the first couple of weeks on StreamYard, and not all of the station was yet on StreamYard. And what happened was Larry was producing a lot of the new, the shows when we first started on StreamYard. And man, I did a show, and I mean, as I'm doing this show now to you, I mean, they say in podcasting this really doesn't mean a lot, but to me it did. I could see the views of who's like, how many people are watching me right now. Like right now we're at 41, 42. I did a show with Larry, and when it got to the end, I was just over like 920 live views, and I didn't know what was going on. And Larry was in the background like Ricky just was as he was waiting. And he was throwing his hands up like this, like, what's going on? And I said to Larry, I was shaking my head on I got to find the episode. I don't know which episode. I was trying to look for it today, but it's in the early 20s. It's if you go back to the Yinzer report, look up the past shows, the prior shows. It's I go anywhere from like 21 to 26. It's in one of those shows. But I hit over 920 views for that one show. And this was like early on in StreamYard, and it just gave me like the urge to like, yeah, this is what I want, this is what I need. And shows after, I mean, I didn't get anywhere close to 900. I was getting 2s, 3s, and from there on. But afterwards, Larry was like, this is amazing. He goes, you killed it today, and I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And and after that, I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do. I want to do this. I love the flash. You would say fortune. I love the fame and everything else. Another great moment I had. I don't see him out there in the chat, but hey, Mike Pat, if you're out there, he was the host of the DMV show where he did like Washington and Baltimore. And me and Mike Pat had our holiday special, like, not playoff preview, but I think the Steelers were playing the Ravens for the division that weekend. And it was during the holidays, and I had him on as a guest. And Mike's Pat shows, when he did his regional shows, he always started out with a drink. He would start out with a drink, and he would critique, he would critique it. It was a beer or wine or whatever. And I remember that night because my wife went out and got me sangria for the show. She actually went up the block, and they actually gave her a pint of sangria, and that was the drink I had for the show. And if you go back to that show, again, it was during playoff. It was when the Steelers played the Ravens for the division. I think it was like the Steelers were in that crazy 12-day game thing. what we said in that show as far as what was going to happen, pinpoint. It did not. If you could go back to the show, watch it, and just match the show up to what had happened, I'm telling you guys, it was pinpoint. Me and Mike nailed every factor of what had happened after that game, what had happened during in that game, and what had happened after that game. And that was another great moment of mine that I just recently had. But yeah, so those were the great moments. The show is vastly coming to an end. Let's see what else I put up here to talk about. Okay, we did the guest. Here's the story I have about with my. Hold on a second before I tell the story. There she is. Thank God, Mary Shea. Hi, Ralph. Saying hi. Congrats on all you have done. We have a lot of fun with you. Mary, thank God you're all right. This is Mary Shea. This is my wife's best friend. And Mary today had hip surgery. And I guess she's out of it and everything is fine because she was here over the weekend. Actually, she just left 2 days ago. And Mary, I told you I was going to do this for you. I am so happy you are okay. And this is what Mary Shea gave me for the show tonight. And it doesn't get any better than this, guys. I bleed black and gold. And how many times have you guys heard me say that on the air? I bleed black and gold. Mary gave me this the other day, and I will treasure this as my going away present for the Yinzer report. And Mary, I am so glad you were able to get on, and I was able to show you that, like I said I would. I did have your Podfather caster shirt up, and I wore it the other day, like I told you. So that's in the laundry. But yes, I am glad to see you are okay. Thanks for tuning in. I mean, that's a great fan. I'm going to get into that right now as we get into the fans and supporters of the show. But just one more great moment I had, and I'll try to get through this quick. I did a show about Paul Skeens, and this is when we were on Spreaker. I did a show about Paul Skeens, and it was when he was up and coming with the Pirates. And I did like a half hour on him. And Ray Mann, who was in the comments, I'll put one of his comments up here. He said some of my favorite shows were when you and Anthony were together. He actually brought me up to speed on something the next day, as he had listened to the show the day before. And he was, I guess he was on the bus going to work, and he was scrolling, I guess, on his phone. And he sent me an article. I forget who the guy was, but he was from ESPN, that 4-letter word station that, Ralph Calise here on the Yinzer Report doesn't really like to say. But and he sent me the article about what this guy wrote. And what the guy wrote was, again, almost exact to what I reported on that day before with Paul Skeens. And it hit me hard, like, wow, that's great. Maybe the guy was listening to the show. I mean, I don't think he was, but because Paul Skeens, you could talk about it, you could just basically say anything about him, and it came true last year. But it fired me up to like really get into Paul Skeens, and I did. And I remember the episode. I remember saying that, Ray, thank you for helping me out with that, because if you could see me now, I just took all the papers that I had in my hand and I threw them up in the air. Like, that's it. I'm in. I got it. Now somebody's out there is reporting the same as I am about a player, and that just hit me hard. That really got me juiced up. So that was a real great moment, and I really wasn't on the air. So that was that. All right, so one last part before I give you my farewell speech. I just want to send a mad thank you out there to my best supporters. And this ain't slighting anybody, for anybody who's been on the show and came on. I appreciate all of you, but I have top 4 favorite supporters on the show. I'll go back and I will show their comments. Here is one. Ray, man, you've been a great supporter of my show. You ask me every week to send you the link, and I think you've been on every show. I don't think you've missed one. So, congrats to you, sir. I give you a Yinzer report applause for that. My colleague, Terran Rodriguez, this guy has been, he was the first guy to comment, I believe, on every show. I don't think he ever missed a show neither. So, Terran, I appreciate all you've done for me on my shows. I look forward to working with you in this new directive here at IE Sports Radio. And yes, you are a loyal supporter of the Yinzer Report. Giving out stars to my loyal supporters. The next one is going to be this guy, and this is my nephew, Danny Mann, who, he's going to be missed greatly because behind the scenes, you don't see him anywhere. You probably don't even know who he is. He did a lot for me, and he knows what he did for me, and I appreciate all his work. So he gets a supporter star for the Yinzer Report. And last but not least, this one that we just showed, this woman, I tell you, she just had hip surgery. She just got out of hip surgery like 2-3 hours ago. And here she is commenting on the show. And that is Mary Shea. For all of you who don't know who she is, that is my wife's best friend. And she's been a loyal supporter. Another person, I would send her the link every day. I was coming on, and she would tell me, I don't need the link. I have you already lined up on the YouTube. And she actually showed my wife how to watch me on the big screen. And, so she gets a supporter star, too, for the Yinzer Report. So you guys are my star supporters. Thank you very much. And I guess it's that time of the show. I really don't want to do this, but I guess I have to. And here it is. My Yinzer Report final speech. Thanks again to everybody out there who tuned in today. We just hit over 50 views. I'm sorry to not have been able to thank certain people that probably couldn't join us tonight, but I'll get to them in a different way. And this is it, guys. This is the farewell speech, and then I'm going right off the air. So here it is. Thanks again, and here we go. The Yinzer Report, final farewell speech from your host here, Ralph Calise, on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed. The Yinzer Report finale. Well, good evening, everyone. This episode of the Yinzer Report will be the last podcast show with me as your host, talking Pittsburgh sports. As we wrap up this final episode, I want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude for all of the IE Sports Radio and our amazing listeners. Your support, feedback, and engagement have truly made this podcast a joy to create and share. I am incredibly thankful for the opportunity to have connected with so many of you through this platform. The conversations, the laughter, and the shared experience have meant the world to me. I will cherish every show's podcast as a memory, and we made it all happen together. While this marks the end of the Yinzer Report, as we know it, I want to reassure you this isn't goodbye forever. I'm excited to have been asked to explore new and creative spots for IE Sports Radio and keep connecting with you in different ways. Keep an eye out for my updates on my social media and at iesportsradio.com, or if you subscribe to YouTube, for upcoming appearances as my new position as IE Sports Radio Pittsburgh Insider. Thank you again for everything. Your support has been invaluable. Until next time, and remember, keep listening to IE Sports Radio for their great podcasts. Take care, be well, stay awesome, and guys, the Yinzer Report rules. Don't you guys ever forget that, okay? Thank you again. This has been the final episode of the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. And I hope that you enjoy your evening. A little choked up right now, but I'll get over it. I actually made it through. I didn't think I was going to make it through. You guys' comments got me there. Guys, I give myself a round of applause. I give you guys a round of applause. Comment section, great, all night, and always. Yinzer Report episode 72 is the finale. Let me put this up there. There it is. Goodbye to the Yinzer Report. My Yinzers, my fans. You guys are awesome. Again, thanks Brian. Thanks Rayman. Thanks Terran Rodriguez. Ricky Keeley, you're the best, buddy. I love you. Anthony Calise, my son, I love you always, buddy. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for being a part of my show. Danny, man, you're the best, kid. Thanks for all you did on the show again. Melissa, thanks for joining in. Patty, thanks for joining in. Joseph, the whole Man family, the whole crew out there, thank you to the Man Clan. Brian, thank you again. Martine Sandoval, yeet. Aaron, thanks for tuning in, sir. Hope all's going well with you. Ray, you're the best star supporter guy. And Mary Shea, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hold on, we got one last comment. Monty, Ralph, I never thank you enough for always promoting the IE Wrestling Show and being one of my biggest supporters. I try to do my best to reciprocate the same as the Yinzer Report. Guys, I'm out. I'm losing it. The Yinzer Report will always live on as long as I'm around. Hopefully it comes back. Take care, guys. Love yous all. Bye-bye.